Yeah, aloha. Loving that breath. Oh my goodness. Like, isn't breathing amazing? To state the obvious. Okay, I have a blank mind, a blank slate. I'm just going to see what comes out. I don't know what's going to come out. I've always got a lot on my mind. I do have one of my little books in front of me. Maybe just looking at that might give me something, but I don't want to do that. Oops, no, maybe I'll keep it there just in case, because there might be a reference point. So I was thinking earlier, last night, I'm thinking a lot, pondering, wondering about life. I kind of don't, I think about work. I found I was obsessively working even when I wasn't working. Even when I'd knocked off from work, and I'm self-driven, I kind of work for myself, pretty much. I'm contracted to people, but I am on auto, and I find I tend to overwork. But then I realised not only was I overworking in the physical hours, afterwards I had the work going through my head, and I'd wake up in the night and there I am, I'm running over my jobs, my list, what I'm going to do. And I'm stopping myself from doing that, because that is literally crazy, because and I know what we focus on grows. And yes, it's great to grow my business, my career, my job. But when I'm overworking, what I'm doing is growing the overworking part. I'm not necessarily making what I'm doing bigger and better. That can happen, but the overdoing actually creates more doingness and that busyness and not having enough time. So if I'm saying to myself, I've got so much to do, there's not enough hours, then, I know what I'm going to say next, hang on. I don't have enough hours. That will be the way I set my center point, my attraction point will be, so this is the universe up here saying, okay guys, she says she doesn't have enough hours. Let's give her more stuff to do so we can keep her in that frame of mind of not having enough hours. Okay, before I forget, let me tell you this story. Okay, I don't think I've told this story yet. I found I am a bit of a storyteller and on reflection on life. So I'm not really making up stories, although I am making up the story of my life right now in my imagination. I'm jumping out of what is, and I'm putting my mind into what I want, what will be, what is now. So always go from present tense. That's why it's a present. It's a gift. But, and that is the operative word, let me tell you a story about a big butt. The big butt story. I've told you the tap head story, and now this is the big butt story. And it is linked up with what I was just talking about as well. So you'll find as the story unravels, if you hang around, doesn't matter if I lose people, that's fine. I kind of get that happens in life, and that's just about resonance. So if we're not on a similar frequency, I will literally repel you. I will repel you, or as I've noticed actually, even if we're not, if we are on the same frequency, you'll be really drawn in and you won't exactly know why. You might not be able to put your finger on it. It'll just be a feeling. And two other things can happen too. Either you'll be instantly repelled, or you will still feel drawn in but highly irritated and you may get the inclination to lash out, and that's better than the first one, I guess. So I'm realizing a lot about frequency and vibration, but if you are doing that, it means that you are getting ready for your healing and your awakening, and so that's a good thing. So that's just a little sign. But please be kind. I love you. I love everyone. And I hope we all end up being like that with each other. Soon. Now. Now. Say it as it is now. Ask as if. So, let me get back to the big... Oh, I feel breathless for some reason. To the big butt story. So, years ago when I was younger, I had a friend, and she had a mother, as most people do. Some people, have stepmothers, and some people, unfortunately, are missing their mothers. But she had a mother who, every time I was around her, she'd say the same thing. And it was, all I have to do is look at a cream bun and it goes to my butt. She might say cream bun one time, or all I have to do is look at cake and it goes to my butt. All I have to do is look at ice cream, and I didn't even want to say it. I withdraw the statement, because, do you know what? She had the biggest butt I had ever seen, unnormally, is that a word? Unnormally big in proportion to the rest of her body. And I didn't get it at the time, and it wasn't until years later, actually not that long ago, maybe within the last 5 years, I remember that vision of her coming back. 707 711, sorry, 707. Now I'm watching it. What's the next one? Oh, here we go, 717. See, that one was forced. I was actually looking for it. So it came back to me, the vision of that, and then it made sense, because this comes along the lines of what we attract, what we intend we attract, what we intend and put our attention to. I was going to say attend. Maybe that is true. What we attend our attention to, and what we intend, whether we like it or not. If we keep repeating something, then that something has to be, because the universe orchestrates depending on our focus point and our attraction. So if you're saying something like, I don't even want to say it now, every time I look at a cream bun, it goes to my butt. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to undo that. I've said it like 5 times now. But do you get what I mean? So be aware of what words you're saying, especially repetitively if it's on a pattern, because it's definitely in our world, we are on cycles and patterns and loops, and we can get stuck in loops. And the more you perpetuate a loop, the more it will be what you're aligned to. So really what you want to say is, I can eat whatever I want. Whatever I eat, I take the utmost of nutrition from it, and then my body will clear out the rest. It will not hang on to anything that is not required by my system. It won't hang on to any sugars or fats unless my body needs it. So if we're saying that all the time, it doesn't sound as funny as the big butt story, where it's not as catchy. All I have to do, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Okay, I'm going to say, all I have to do is to look at any food, and my body draws the nutrition and the minerals and the nutrients and the nourishment that it needs, and discards all else. You know, that is what I'm going to be saying. And I kind of have, not as mindfully, I think I will more mindfully speak that. And that takes me onto another related subject about the blessing of food in religions. I'm not religious, so I don't know much, so I don't tend to comment too much, but maybe on a few things I pick up on. I have got a big one that came in yesterday, but I think it might get me in trouble, so I'm not going to bring that up right now because it would be a sensitive subject for a lot of people, and at this particular point my intuition is saying not now. But it was interesting for me to have the understanding, and since it's just to tease me talking about it and not telling you what it is, I'll stop. But the blessing of the food. So thank you, Father, for this lovely lot of food that you've given us. I don't really know how it goes, whether it's the same thing you say, but with the understanding that everything has water in it, I have talked about this before, and water is consciousness. We are mostly water. That when we are impressing and intending upon our food that thanks, and so I feel like even that may be misconstrued within that, even though it has such relevance and meaning. But what I'm thinking and deriving is that the blessing upon the food is you are imprinting upon the food what it is that you would like it to do for you. So you intend for it. So I am trying to be in a habit, and I'm a bit lax because there's so much to do in this life, but I'm slowly building up my practice, my life practice. I feel like it's important for us all to have a solid life practice that combines the mind, body, soul. So obviously, even though I'll say this world, and I do believe it's not as real as we think it is. It's not as solid. This is all senses and nodes and do we go into holograms and simulation theory? Not now, but there's a lot of studies, a lot of research that this reality is not as real as we think it is. So it's much more malleable, and I'm realizing that now. And even though this may not be an absolute reality as we might have believed it to be in this we are real, this is solid scenario, what am I saying here? That it's still a real experience. So when we're in it, and I have mentioned this before, if you cut yourself, you will bleed and it will hurt, because this is for us to learn. We have feelings in order to help us understand what we do want and do like, and what's good for us and what's not good for us. So if we didn't have feeling, and we put our hand on the stove and didn't realize it was on, and we're just standing there because we can't feel it, and then we look down and our hand is a charred, burned mess, we would have wished we had feelings, because with feelings, as soon as you touch that heat, you know it's hot straight away, so you pull away. And also our emotions too are like our compass. They are guiding signals for us as we traverse our life experience. So when we come across something and it feels good, we want to follow that signal and going, right, that is our north path, our true north, our north node. And if something doesn't feel good and we don't like it, that is our signal to not go that way. And I guess if north is the way to go, then south for some reason isn't. So that could be our south node. So we are meant to utilize our emotions and our feelings, our hunches, our niggles, as our guidance system for how to navigate through our life. And we're also supposed to be, in our natural life practice, I believe, connecting with our higher self, that has the higher perspective. So imagine your higher self is attached to you with a string and is like a kite that's flying miles up ahead, miles in the sky, and the higher you on the kite can actually see all the paths ahead. It can see the cliffs, the drop-offs, the potholes, the valleys full of lovely beauty and food and lushness, peace and tranquility. And if we are in tune, we've got that string coming down, and let's just say it's attached to the top of our head, just for the sake of argument. It's attached to the top of our head. It's like a silver golden cord that goes up to our higher self, who has this higher vantage point and can see the whole landscape ahead of us. And the way it communicates, because it's so up, it's like little tugs and little intuition, and it sends little thought bubbles through the cord, hypothetically. And when you're still and quiet enough to tune in, you can feel those tugs and feel those bubbles of intuition and the little nudges and niggles, and also it does affect your feelings. So if you're tuning into them, that helps you guide. But we are so freaking busy doing in our lives, we are not taking the time to be still and feel that guidance from our higher self up on the kite, seeing everything for us above. It can see every step we've taken. It can see every step we should take. Oh, I like that analogy. I should write that one down. I've imagined it as the higher self being above, but I like the kite analogy with the string, the cord to the head. And also your chakras, like we should all be in schools learning about chakras and divination and astronomy, because these things are important guides in our lives. They're even more important than maths, English, science, I'm sorry. Also, health, looking after our body. But then we can go back to what I was saying about the blessing upon the food, because everything is water. If you look up Dr. Emoto ice experience, and there's also another lovely lady, Veda Austin, I think it is, who's carrying on this research about water and how water, say Dr. Emoto, for example, and I don't know if this was in the 80s, was it in the 80s or 90s? I'd have to look that up. I haven't looked that up for a while. So, and I tend to forget stuff and kind of be in the moment. So Dr. Emoto took jars or glasses of water and he wrote words on and stuck them on the jars, and he had like love, beauty and happiness, joy, and then he also had like hate, anger, evil, and then he froze the water and then later put it under the microscope, and the ones with the love, joy, happiness, harmony, peace were just beautiful and all individual, authentic, just their own beautiful encapsulation and very symmetrical sort of ice crystal. And the ones with hate and anger, evil, didn't even really form, and the water actually got a bit yucky. But it's so interesting that if you think of how that works, how we have water. So when we tell ourselves things, oh my goodness, I'm coming back to the start. I love it when this happens. When we tell ourselves things like the Big Bart story, or whatever it is, or I'm always late, you'll always be late. I never have any money, you'll never have any money. There is no love for me, there will be no love for you. So don't tell you that. Don't tell yourself that. Tell yourself, I am lovable, I have love, I have money, money flows to me. I'm open to all angles and avenues of resources and abundance to come my way. Everything I eat nutritionalizes me. Is that a word? Nutritionalizes me. It fills me full of vitality and energy, and I'm so happy. So be aware of what you tell yourself, because you are imprinting that upon your consciousness, all the water in your body, and it is actually affecting your whole life. So just on summary, the things that I would say are most important here are that, what are you telling yourself? What are your intentions? And also realize that you do have a cord attached to your head that goes way up to a vantage point high in the heavens, where your higher self can see everything and is telling you what to do. So perhaps make a little effort to slow down, pause, and reinforce that connection, and use your words to do so. Actually intend that. I intend to have a strong connection with my head kite, just as much as I realize I have a head tap. I have that in another video. I think I might have called it head tap, or there might be something in the description. Have a look. That's an important one to know too, but I've already talked about it, so I won't bring it up again. So that is my little thought for the day. Thank you for listening if you made it to the end, and I hope wherever you are, you're having a beautiful morning, arvo, evening, and I will pop back in. Not literally, or is it literally? I should do that at the start. Pop. But I like the breath at the start. That helps center me and calms me and allows me to kind of clear that headspace for a moment to see what actually wants to come in and what wants to come out. Okay, so sending much love as always, and I'll be back tomorrow.